It is 7 o'clock. It is Tuesday, the 22nd of August. My name is Virginia Dahl. I am coming to you from Bowie, Maryland. We're going to use a stamp set and a die set this evening that are brand new, basically. They will be available in the mini catalog when that comes live on September 6th. But I had an opportunity to attend a virtual event that was sponsored by Stamping Up, using these products, the translucent florals and the translucent floral dies. Now let me show them to you here. They are in the new mini catalog, but I can't show you. I can't open the catalog and show that to you. But translucent florals, it's a distinctive. It doesn't say here on this actual packaging, but it is a distinctive stamp set, which makes it different from many of our other stamp sets because it produces a photo quality type image. And it's a very unusual stamp set. So I've had a lot of fun creating with it. There is the die. Here are the dies that go with it. I always love stamp sets that have dies or punches that go with it. And it's both of these are the same name, which makes it easier for those of us who are older demonstrators to remember. And that's what we're working with this evening. But speaking of catalogs, let me go back to that really, really quickly. You don't have too much time left if you earned any bonus days coupons. You have until the 31st, which is Thursday of next week, to redeem those coupons with Stampin' Up. And that's, for every $5 you spent in July, you got a $50. For every $50 you spent in July, you got a $5 coupon, and you could amass as many of those coupons as you wanted to. So anyway, that is coming close to being finished, that promotion. And also there is still a promotion going on with all of our kits, and our kits, with the exception of Paper Pumpkin, are online. And so you have to go to the online store and choose those kits. But those kits during the entire month of August have been on sale at 30% off. So keep that in mind. And one final thing, the With Love and Gratitude Paper Pumpkin kit you can register for it or get it. Go ahead and if you're not a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, you can get it between August 11th and September 10th. You have to sign up to receive it. It is a monthly subscription, and you can keep that subscription going all year long, or you can just you can pause it or cancel it or whatever, depending on which kits you want to get. There is an add-on that is available, but this add-on is only available if you're a Paper Pumpkin subscriber. And it's an 8x10 journal. It's $15. It's a separate item code number for it. But if you are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, this is available to you. Okay. It's a gratitude journal, a thoughts of thanks journal. All right, so that is available, and you can go ahead and sign up through the 10th of September for the Paper Pumpkin. Here is a shot of our annual catalog. It has started in May of 2023 and will go through the end of April 2024. And we've looked at this catalog and opened it up and seen several things from this catalog. Let's see. And then finally, I want to just show you a sneak peek preview of the cover. This should be coming very soon, very, very soon. So within another week or so, you can see the mini catalog as it goes live in September. Okay, and this is filled full of holiday and fall and winter and events that happen during the fall and winter season. So that's the products that are featured in this mini catalog. This, of course, is in addition to what we already have in our annual catalog. All right. So, excuse me for that. Lots and lots of products available. Don't forget the online exclusives. There are some items that are Christmas related on the online exclusives. And to alert you, back in when November rolls around, there will be an additional online exclusives um, series of products available. So keep that in mind. We decided to do 3 online exclusive launches during 2023. And the second one just launched at the beginning of July. So the third one will be in November. All right. And that's about the time that we start talking about celebration, which happens in January. So many things going on in the Stampin' Up! World. And let's get back to what we're going to focus on today. Translucent florals. Here are the dies that go with the translucent florals, many of which you will see I've used on the cards that I will share with you tonight. And then in addition, there was another die set and another an embossing folder that I decided to use on the card that I'm demonstrating tonight. The mini pocket envelope had this wonderful little die right here that was just the right size for the sentiment that I wanted to put on the card that we're working on tonight. So it's the mini pocket envelope die. And this is the one that we used. Okay. And then the embossing folder that I used, and you know I like to put a lot of texture in my cards. The embossing folder that I used is the Stampin' Cut and Emboss folder, the Stripes and Splatters 3D folders. Now these are small enough so they fit through our mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss. So there are the two. There are the stripes. I think you can see that pretty well on this camera. That's good. All right, and then the splatters. I use the splatters as the background embossing folder on the card that we're working with tonight. So without too much ado or too much other palaver, let's go on and look at the card that we're making. And here it is. Okay. Using Flirty Flamingo, Lemon Lime Twist, and Basic White. Those are the colors of this card. All right, so now, and you can see in the background, there's the splatters. I believe you can see that pretty well. Okay, there's the splatters and embossing folder. So let's keep that right there. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what we need. I want to give a shout out before I get started, though, because I do, as I've said many times before, I do look at other sources for inspiration. Pinterest is a primary one that I go to first. I have quite a Pinterest board up and about, and it's public. But there were 3 demonstrators that I took inspiration from. Sue Moore, that's Mohr, Mary Deathridge, and Mary Brown. So I used some ideas from the cards that I saw that those ladies made and took the translucent florals to a different level for myself. So I kind of made it Virginia's design. Okay, here we go with here's our envelope. Very basic envelope. We will be stamping that envelope in Flirty Flamingo with this stamp. I think maybe you can see some of the texture on that stamp. This really works better. These kinds of stamps really work better with a slightly dry ink pad, one that's not too juicy. So keep that in mind when you're trying to use these items. Okay, Here is the Flirty Flamingo. There's our card base. It is 4 1/4 by 11, and it's scored at 5.5. All right. Let's see. We have basic white, and I used basic white scraps to stamp my greeting on, and that die that I was talking to you about. I used the lemon lime twist to make these using the dies, and I used the inks Flirty Flamingo to make the flowers. All right, and then I used lemon lime twist to do the leaves. All right, and you see what a different, interesting, transparent kind of look that has. This also does a really good job on vellum. It really looks very nice using vellum to kind of lighten things up a little bit. So there's that. Here is the piece of cardstock that the white that I did the splatter on. It's 5 3/8 by 3 3/8. And then the insert, which I will put on the inside of our card, I already went ahead and stamped that little flower. It is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And I think that's pretty much everything. So let's go ahead and start assembling our card. I did want to sort of take a little bit of time to explain each piece. I did some stamping on this piece before I did the sentiment on top of it to give it just a little bit of interest, a little bit more texture. So that's something different. Okay, so we're going to stamp using our Flirty Flamingo. And you just barely need to tap this because it is a very juicy pad. I'd always turn it over and look to see if I have inked well enough. And I think I have. So I'm going to put that right here in the corner. All right, there we go. Okay. And of course, then I said, you remember, I talked about lemon lime twist is the other color that we used. And all the stamps that we used with lemon lime twist was this one. And we used lemon lime twist on this. Okay. And we used these. And I think you can see, I show you with the right angle on my camera, you can see the texture on those. And that was with Flirty Flamingo. And this was also stamped with Flirty Flamingo. All right, wishing you all the happiness in the world. Now, originally the card that I saw that was made by Sue Moore was like this. She used a white card, and she cut off like about 3/4 of an inch or so on the side so that the and I believe it opened differently than mine does. So and then I added a few little other things here. All right, so let's get our card base and our silicone mat so that we can start putting this together. And I meant to mention that I use the Tinsel Gems 4-pack. One of the colors in this is the lemon lime twist. The other is berry burst. I believe that's blueberry bushel. And this I think is pretty peacock. Yes. Okay. So those are all the colors that are listed. I write my colors on the back. They're not written on the actual packaging. And I like to know what they are because I can't remember what all those colors are. But yeah, so that helps me remember what they are. And I do go ahead and repackage the embellishments so that they're a little easier for me to grab. They're all the same size. So that makes it a little easier. A little tip from Paper Pixie. All right, so let's go ahead and let's adhere the inside of our card. We have our envelope done. I'm using Stamp and Seal, and I always start it off if it doesn't start right away. I started off on my silicone mat. Okay. Oh, there we go. Oops, a little adhesive on that. I'll have to take that off. All right, now try to use my grid paper as much as possible to help me try to keep things straight. Remember, this was 4 by 5 1/4, so it's going to leave me a nice 1/8 of an inch border there. There we go. All right, now on the front of our card, you realize that we're going to be putting this piece on, but we're going to be adhering it pretty close to the edge. And I want the same amount around the edges of the top, the bottom, and the long side. All right, so I'm going to use my Tombow glue. And by the way, I store my Tombow glue upside down. There are several little kind of containers that are available on Amazon and a couple of other stamping sites that you can use to just help you store it upside down so that you're able to keep the glue at the tip of the tip of the the little end, the tip there. So I'm just trying to, oops, I'm sorry, can't see that. Trying to make sure that I see that I have an even border all the way around there. Okay, and there's that piece. Now, what we can do is go ahead and adhere. And I think I'm going to put these pieces on first so that I can figure out using my Stampin' Dimensionals. I try to remember how I did this. I made 2 other cards since that time, and it's the old brain is not working as well as it should. Okay, so what I'm going to do, yeah, I think I'm going to put my dimensionals on opposite, I'm sorry, you can't see that, my dimensionals on opposite corners so then I can stick the other pieces I want to underneath, and I think that should work well. All right. So I'm going to leave a little bit of space here, kind of center this as much as I can. Okay, and then I'm going to use my little pieces that I die cut out. Just a little tiny bit of glue. I don't want a lot of glue, so I'm just going to put a little tiny dot here. This is going to be tucked underneath. And I believe I want to tuck this kind of under here like that. Okay. And I like some freedom of, this to be able to move around a little bit. And then this piece, I'm going to tuck kind of like that. All right. There we go. Okay. Now these pieces, I'm going to have to work around these pieces to tuck my other pieces in. So I'm going to dry fit this. That's what I call it. Just to kind of see, I want some of this overhanging, and that's good. And I probably at an angle because I want to be able to fit. It's not coming up here. Here we go. So I'm going to put that, tuck that in there, tuck it like that. All right. And then this one's going to go under that again. And then I'm going to tuck this piece in kind of like that. All right. So let's get these pieces together and on, and then we'll tuck our flowers in. And we're going to use dimensionals. So that's a challenge. You see, I use my old paper that I stamped on one side and I didn't like the image, and so I put it back in the thing and can use it again. All right, let me see how that goes. I'm going to put that over there on that side. I don't want to put too many dimensionals on here. Okay. And I definitely don't want dimensionals on that. So it's going to be pretty much the bottom level here that I'm putting the dimensionals on so that I can tuck other things up underneath of that. So let's go ahead and add that in. I really enjoy using the dies because it makes it so much easier. There we go. That goes like that. Makes it so much easier to manipulate. And okay, and again, I'm using pieces around the bottom and the side so that I can keep it open enough to add the other pieces that I'm going to add, tuck in underneath of those. All right, so it's mainly on the outside edge that I put these. All right. Okay. Now we're going to add our dimensionals. And again, I'm going to be not too over exuberant about putting the dimensionals on here. I think I'm going to just put like a couple there, and I might add a couple later, but I want to make sure that I'm giving enough room to the flowers as I tuck them under and in. Okay, there we go. That one is facing in that direction. Good. Okay, and then this one is in. Okay, maybe I'll move my dimensional up a little bit here. I miscalculated on where I needed to have it. Let's move that up a little bit. There, I can wiggle it in. And it's good. There. Okay, I'm happy with that. All right, so we're almost done. Now the last thing that we have to do is give it a little glitter with the Tencel gems. And I decided that I wanted to use let's see, what did I use on that one? I used mostly the smaller ones. So here's this one. Oops. Trying to get it to stick. It's sticking everything that I don't want it to stick to. Okay, here we go. I'm going to put a piece kind of up here at the top. And I do want a little focus down here on the bottom. And I will take something and fix this little piece so it's not flipped up quite so much. So let's put two over here. Typically go for, it's a little close. Okay, there you go. Those. And I'm going to go back to my dimensionals here. Hold on just a minute. And I'm going to use a little piece of my dimensionals. All right, now you know that the dimensionals are cut in like hexagonal or hexagon, I don't know which is how you say it, shapes. I'm going to take a tiny little piece, and I'm not sure you can see that. There you go. And I'm going to clip that off. I grab it with my dimensional. I mean, I take your pick tool. Oh, well, all right. Right now it's on my thumb. Okay. I take this. It's got a little bit of card surgery here. Right now I'm going to take this tiny little piece and I'm going to stick it underneath of this. Okay. So that it's not sticking up quite so much. There we go. I'm anchoring it down a little bit better, so it's not, but I still like the fact that it looks like it's coming up off the page. So there we go. There is the card that I made, or that we made tonight. Okay. And very, very similar to the other one. I mean, it's exactly the same as the other one. All right. And I'm going to move some things aside and show you now the other two cards that I made. Again, using Pinterest and the other ladies, Mary Brown and Mary Dethridge, as inspiration for this. So I do really appreciate their posting things and sharing them with us so that we can be inspired and use some of the techniques that they use. And, you know, they also put it online. It can be copied exactly. But you need to make sure that you give that person whose original design it was, you give them the credit for that. All right, this one I really do like. I like this one a lot. This is done with a mask. And if you don't have, I was thinking about this, if you don't have the ability to purchase a lot of designer series paper, you can purchase cardstock and use a mask. It's like a stencil that will help you make your own designer series paper very easily. And all I did was take Pretty Peacock and a mask from the Artistic Mask ones set that's in the annual catalog. And you tape it down and then you use a blending brush and you blend the color over the mask onto the paper that's underneath. You put paper underneath of it, of course. And that, you know, you could make it as dark as you want or as light as you want. This is done with Pretty Peacock, Calypso Coral, Old Olive, and Lost Lagoon. And I did a little bit with the leaves on that one. Okay. And this is the new, now this is a product. These circles, you see how the edges are deckled like the deckled rectangles? We now have in the new mini catalog a deckled circles. And by the way, these are not the largest circles available in that set. There's some pretty big deckled circles. I'm interested to see what folks are going to do with those. I have a couple of ideas myself, but there you go. So that's that. And then, of course, I used a little bit of, that's Pretty Peacock right there in the center of that flower. All right. So there's that. And the last one that I made, just got to finish this afternoon, is this one here, a Happy Birthday. A bit more on the masculine side, but I did have a little ribbon and a little bow behind. That's a faux bow back there. Actually, it's not really tied. It's just looped around with the twine. The colors are Cajun craze, curry, crushed curry, and spruce. I can't remember the first name of the spruce one. But anyway, yes. So shaded spruce. I'm sorry, shaded spruce. And I thought those went really well together and kind of a fallish type card. Not that I'm necessarily trying to push it into fall, but anyway, so that is that card right there. And I thought it would make one that was more of a landscape card. And I didn't put anything on the inside of it. I could do one of the branches of the these little guys, or I could do something else. I just haven't quite finished that. But and then the background here is our um, exposed brick background. Okay, I like that embossing folder. It's one that we have. I believe that's one in our annual catalog. Okay, so there's that. And I didn't put anything on that envelope. So, all right. So that's what I have for you tonight. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you're inspired, and I hope you look forward to seeing this in the new mini catalog. And we'll be able to purchase that on September the 6th. And let's next week, I do have a bit of an announcement here. Next week, I will not be doing a Facebook Live, and I will not be doing any Facebook Lives during the month of September. I've kind of taken a bit of a vacation, and we will be in and out of town. So there's a lot of stuff going on the particular week that we're in town. So I'm going to take a vacation, and I'll see you back in October, the beginning of October. I believe that's the 3rd of October. Take care, and I'll see you again October 3rd.